All right, what's up, heavy hitters? So we got Stan Efferding in the house and Damon, and we're gonna go over a full day of eating for Lee, Mexican Bruce Lee.
To gain 50 pounds.
To gain 50 pounds. His goal is to gain 50 pounds. This is a lifestyle. This is not something that's gonna happen overnight, but discipline and dedication for Lee is gonna get him there. We did a video on how to lose basically 50 pounds and get me to my goal, and we're here with Lee. I want to hear what a full day of eating is like for him, especially this is going to be him eating on a budget somewhat, right?
Yeah.
Very, very affordable.
Yep.
And also very effective.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Perfect. And fortunately, we brought Damon McCune along, the co-author of the Vertical Diet, who's a registered dietitian with a PhD in exercise phys. So he's going to lead off with all these statistics here.
All right, so we calculated Lee's needs just like we did for Big Boy, and so we're shooting for at least 3,500 calories a day. And how that breaks down in terms of macros, we're actually going to have him do a little bit less protein so that we can drive appetite. So he's only going to be getting about 125, 150 grams of protein max a day, and then roughly 500 grams of carbs, and the fat falls at about 75 grams a day. So that's about where his macros are going to fall. So what does that look like in terms of food? Well, so what we're going to do, he's going to eat probably 4 meals a day. That's what his schedule is probably going to look like. So we're going to break this down and do the same thing we did and kind of give, each meal will be very similar, and then we can adjust that as we...
Yeah, and if you guys at home need to eat 3 meals or 6 meals, you can do that as long as we're equating for calories and have our macros similar. The frequency doesn't really matter. We designed it to be convenient for him.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to be trying to get 5 ounces of cooked meat. And so for you, since we're trying to do this on a little bit of a budget and we're trying to drive appetite and everything, we're going to use ground beef. So just going to Costco and getting the giant thing of ground beef.
Yep.
And cook that all up at once. You're going to, after you cook it, you'll weigh out your 5 ounces. And then we're trying to hit 6 eggs a day. And because you're doing 4 meals, you can do 2 eggs at 3 meals. That's probably going to be the easiest. And so for 3 of your meals, you'll have 2 eggs. And for all 4 meals, you'll have a 1.5 cups of rice.
That's all 4?
Yep, and that's cooked weight. And for 2 of your meals, we're going to have you do a 1/2 cup of yogurt. Lee's not a big fan of dairy, so that's what we're going to start with that.
You don't like cheese.
And see where we go from there. But that'll be our starting point and see how that works.
It's primarily for calcium, and since we're not concerned about his carbohydrate intake, he can actually use a fruit-flavored yogurt, so he'll be enjoyable for him. It's important that we create a diet, as mentioned, that's sustainable, that's a part of his lifestyle. It's something he can continue to do. It's not temporary.
Yeah. And for 3 times a day, we'll have you do about 4 ounces of orange juice with no pulp.
Yep. We talked in a previous video about how that's great for improving appetite.
Mm-hmm. Each meal you'll do about three
How many
baby
meals
carrots.
was that on the OJ?
Just 3 times a day, so you can have it with the meal or before.
Probably don't need it for dinner. You don't need to drive appetite for dinner because you'll be
Okay.
sleeping.
Mm-hmm. I would do it first 3.
Okay.
And then 3 baby carrots, and those you may want to backload because that's your fiber. So those you'll have the last 3 meals a day.
The carrots?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want to get a potato in there.
Mm-hmm.
You got that on your schedule as well?
Yep. So the potato, you'll split that however
Or put
you...
it in the last meal of the day because
Yeah.
it's satiating. And that way you don't have to worry about being full for any of your other meals.
Mm-hmm.
Have the potato at the end of the day.
And the bone broth, again, is kind of at your discretion.
We're going to use that to make mash. Most of your meals will probably be the monster mash. They're really easy to eat with the bone broth in there. Make it to the consistency you enjoy. Some people like them a little drier. Some people like it a little wetter, a little more soupy. But you'll mix your ground beef, your white rice, a couple of eggs, a little bit of bone broth, mash it all up, and you can consume that pretty easily and fast. It'll digest quick. Plus, you can make 2 of them, eat 1, put the other into a thermos, and make sure you've got that in your backpack or in your car, so wherever you're away from the house, you've already got your next meal. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. And then we're going to do 3 ounces of cranberry, and probably earlier in the day for that. In the morning or probably a meal too, just because we don't want that. That's going to stimulate thyroid. We don't want that keeping you awake at night.
Yeah, the
Okay,
iodine
so
in cranberry.
just like meal 1 and 2 then, or
Just for one
just
time
one
a day.
meal?
So, yep.
Okay.
We talked in a previous video about some of his rice he can eat by sprinkling a little dextrose on it. You might make a mash up and still have to eat a little more additional rice if you want to, depending on how you like the taste. You can have an extra side of rice with a little bit of dextrose on it and pound that as well. So that's going to be in there. Not to drive calories, but to make it easier to eat, to improve appetite so we can get more white rice in you.
And when we say a little bit, we're talking maybe a tablespoon, over the whole thing. So it's not a crazy amount. It's not like you're getting a half a cup and dumping it on there. So
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's about it, or?
that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah.
hits
If you
it,
wanted
yeah.
to mix up a little
That
spinach
adds.
and peppers to throw into one of your mash, it's all about your preference. Too much of that may be a little satiating, but it's generally low gas vegetables. Those are fine.
Okay.
But we're trying to gain weight right now. You've got plenty of nutrients in here, plenty of micronutrients in here. The goal now is to make sure that you can consume all of this every day comfortably. We don't need you to be bloated and full and uncomfortable. We just want to make sure you can stay at a surplus. Over the course of the first few weeks here, you're going to be at a calorie surplus. You may start to gain a little weight, and then you might stop. Your metabolism will increase. Much the same way your metabolism will decrease when you diet. Metabolic adaptation occurs on both ends.
Right.
And so you'll
You're
start
gonna
eating all
keep
this
eating
food, and then
more.
all of a sudden you'll stop gaining weight in a few weeks. You just have to add a few hundred more calories.
Okay.
Okay, it's not a plateau. Your body's burning more calories because you're eating more food, and you might be gaining some more weight. And that's fine. We'll keep making those adjustments ongoing.
Cool. Yeah, I hope it helps out because just like a lot of people out there want to lose weight and look better and feel better, there's a lot of people like Lee out there that are thinner and want to gain weight and want to get bigger and have a lot of trouble gaining weight. I know you get a lot of DMs and things like that, huh? Like
Oh yeah,
how
people
to-
just ask me like what to do to gain weight and shit, or like how long I've been training, or how long it's taken me to get to the size that I'm at, and
Yeah.
it's just not easy.
So there it is for you guys at home.
Yeah, very helpful.
At StanEfferding.com, I have a copy of the Vertical Diet ebook. If you need more help, we have a weight gain diet in there with the macros broken down, the complete diet program, with a quick start guide so you can get started in 5 minutes with a grocery list and get the same exact thing that's going on here.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thanks, brother.